now appearing in the building, up in every ear hole from 80-year-olds to the children. You're here to hear about the heroes and the villains, and save yourself some dollars, yen, and euros from the zeros to the millions. This is a lot of class packed into one podcast. They probably ought to have laws passed, but it's too late to stop the onslaught. Raw blast of compacted, bombastic, five-alarm sass. They're talking AVX, way back to Secret Invasion. They're talking flying up high in the sky, down to the feet on the pavement. They're reading the pages of every single one of the summer events. So other than Bendis, you want to be coming to them when you want the Avengers. They're up inside of your environment with flying iron fists, giant-sized Goliaths, and the tiniest super scientists. Try denying it, but I insist. There's other podcasts, but this is Earth's mightiest. EMP, literally MP3 TNT. Young, new, mighty, and secretly. Try denying it, but I insist. There's other podcasts, but this is Earth's mightiest. EMP, literally MP3 TNT. Young, new, mighty, and secretly. Try denying it, but I insist. There's other podcasts, but this is Earth's mightiest.
Welcome to EMBS episode 10, where we shoot the breeze for about an hour. Today is November 5th, and we are recording this. Remember, the 5th of November.
Yeah.
To get EMBS episodes as they come out, consider supporting us on Patreon at patreon.com/EMPcast. You get it a month early, and of course, everybody else gets released a month later. But yeah, Patreon helps us out. Little as $1 a month, and you get a few little goodies out of it. Anything from comics to some custom mugs, custom toys, and some sketches even from Alex, who says hi, by the way.
Yes, he does say hi. It's the Corner Viet show today. And we play another game of What's Up with Our White Friends.
Well, to be honest, we didn't add stats because it was very much last minute.
Yes. Okay, what's up with our other white friends?
Well, all that aside, we are here to just talk pop culture in general, and you finally watched the Lovecraft County.
Lovecraft Country?
Yes, Lovecraft Country.
Yes.
I don't write these down. What did you think?
I loved it. I mean, part of me didn't want to watch it because I'm just a big fraidy cat, and I'm not big on horror. But it was more sci-fi than horror.
A little bit of everything.
A little fantasy. Yeah, it did get and spoiler warning, I guess we go ahead and say that part. But yeah, when he got to the Hippolyta stuff, where it got all space, space acid trippy stuff like that. But yeah, and then Topsy and Bopsy creeped me the hell out.
I love that one. They were creepy, and just how they move and stuff was just interesting and different.
Yeah, apparently they were dancers. The people, the actors that played them, and then they were adults or something like that.
They were adults.
I want to say something like that, where they weren't little kids, basically. Yeah. They were a lot older.
I wouldn't be surprised if they played somebody in reverse or something like that, because the way they moved really was freaky.
Did you see the nod to Afua Richardson?
No.
Afua Richardson is is an amazing artist. She a comic artist, and she's done a lot of the. I think she did a lot of the variant covers for. I think it's World of Wakanda or Black Panther stuff. She's done a lot of Marvel stuff. like variant covers and like that. And I guess she was like involved in the development of the show somehow. I'm not really sure. Like maybe she was doing storyboarding for them or something. I'm not really. I would have to look it up. But there's a point, because like she like if you follow her on her social media, she was showing like character design stuff with like Topsy and Bopsy and stuff like that. And then and you know that part where she Hippolyta shows her the comic book.
Yeah.
In the last part, yeah, she says that she's like, I talked to a woman named Mafua.
And you notice that the space chick is the girl from Bob Hart's Abishola. I don't know if you watched that show. But Abishola's friend was the space lady. You need to watch that show. That's a really good comedy.
Okay.
And I'm not really even one for too many comedies, but Bob Hart's Abishola, which I think we might have covered on one of these episodes in the past. But yeah, man, I'm really looking forward to season 2.
I mean, like there's no reason why there wouldn't be a season 2, but there's definitely going to be a season 2.
I'm pretty certain it was renewed, but of course, who knows anything with it being 2020 and COVID and all the weirdness, because it broke my heart when what's it called, got canceled because of COVID. The Greg Rucka series, the series based off Greg Rucka's book.
I don't remember what it was called.
My goodness, I cannot remember. This is what happens when you record late at night.
Right.
The one with Kobe Smulders. Smulders.
Yeah.
Is that how you pronounce your name? Stumptown. Jeez.
Stumptown.
Yeah, they picked it up, and then because of COVID, they ended up just dropping it, which is frustrating.
But yeah, back to Lovecraft Country. Yeah, like it was really good. There were a lot of uncomfortable moments. You know, like kind of like Watchmen. You know, like you just anything in that era just is very uncomfortable.
Yeah, racism. Yeah.
You know, and like, I mean, as much as I like to see a racist getting their comeuppance, you know, like, I hope, and as much as, like, these stories need to be told, you know, like, I just hope it doesn't get oversaturated, like Hollywood does, you know? They're like, we heard you like talking about racism. So now we're going to have, like, 20 shows about this, you know?
Yeah, I agree. But you got to give them points because, like, and even Watchmen were probably well in development before it became a thing.
Yeah, like, yeah, because I mean, I guess it was, like, Watchmen and even, like, a little bit of Umbrella Academy and then now Lovecraft Country, you know, so you're just, like, again, like, you know, like, I didn't even, I felt terrible, you know, like, I didn't know about, like, the Tulsa massacre until, like, maybe, like, a couple years ago.
There was one in Ocoee right here, and where near me. Pretty similar. Yeah,
see, like, I was never taught any of that. I mean, you can probably blame public school in South Carolina, but just, like...
whitewashing.
Yeah, you know, you're just like, wow, like, how do I not know any of this?
Yeah, so I'm glad you caught on, glad you liked it. It definitely was a surprise for me. There's also like a companion podcast, which I haven't checked out yet, but eventually once there's, 38 hours in a day, I'll get around.
Right.
Right.
Let's see. What else? I finally finished my rewatch of Avatar: The Last Airbender.
And Korra?
Not Korra yet. I'm going to start Korra soon.
Just haven't.
Yes. And, yeah, it's just such a good show, man.
I was watching it with Nikolai, and of course, you know, he usually falls asleep, so for some reason I just kept going without it.
Oh, did you?
I finished it.
Oh, you finished it?
I finished it before him, yeah.
Nice. Yeah, like, it just a solid series. Like, it ended really well.
Definitely holds up.
Yeah, it's so good. Like, we laughed at like, I still laughed at, like, a lot of parts. Like Sparky Boo Man. Like, things like that, yeah, it's just, so good. I'm looking forward to starting Korra again.
Yeah, I think that one I really need to probably rewatch, because I just don't remember much of it. I know from what I've read that it really wasn't planned to go more than one season.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, ended up stretching it out to, what, 3?
Yeah, like, I was going, like, I want to, if I remember right, I remember the second season kind of falling off.
Mm-hmm.
But it picked back up on the third season.
And then I remember the ending.
Yeah, so I'll be interested to watch it again, and then also be able to pick up some more of the Easter eggs when I rewatch it again. Yeah.
Yeah, agreed. All right. What do I want to pick from this list? So we're still doing TV shows. Did you watch the Helstrom?
Helstrom. I did not.
They took the Marvels away from the front of it, but it's the last Marvel Studios show that was under Jeff Loeb before they handed everything to Kevin Feige, who is now in charge of all things Marvel Media, and he's actually the creative officer of comics as well, which is weird, but yeah. So Helstrom, based off of course, Damien Helstrom and his sister Satana, who in this series is called Anna. It's not perfect. You can still feel some of the small budget of it, and them kind of stretching it a little to make it all work, but I enjoyed it. It was fun for what it was, and I like the rules they kind of laid down and how they tried to build. So it had some real heart to it.
Is it completely independent from everything else? The other universes?
Yes, there may be one or two like Easter egg in conversation, but they don't blatantly connect it to anything. Like, there's no incident. I don't think they've ever said anything about an incident or anything like that. I know this show was supposed to be part of like a family of horror stuff. Like, I think Ghost Rider was also supposed to be created, and they got canceled. So they definitely leave it off on a pretty big cliffhanger. And there's going to be if you know your Ghost Rider lore, there's going to be names of characters and groups from the Ghost Rider lore.
Okay.
And it's definitely worth the watch. Background noise, it'll be interesting enough. It's not terrible. It's not Inhumans terrible, as much as some people would claim. That is completely false. Definitely not Inhumans terrible. But
yeah, Inhumans was awful.
Yeah.
Terrible.
Yeah, I think that may be the one few Marvel flops. But
you know, I never watched the last season of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
It was solid, man. It was really solid.
Okay. Is that on Disney Plus yet, or is that on a streaming service at all?
I'm pretty certain it's on Netflix, but I could be wrong.
I did finish watching Runaways.
Which I did not. So, I mean, last we saw the aliens were possessing people, right?
Yes. That was season 3 is the aliens were possessing people, and they're kind of dealing with that. I never read the series, which I have the trades for, that I do need to. So, like, do the parents die in the comics? Like, do all the Runaways?
If memory serves me correctly, yes, I do believe they all get killed.
Okay, so
Could be wrong.
like, what was really weird about this, or do you mind if I spoil it at all?
No, go ahead.
Okay, like the parents get out, or some of the parents get out of the possession of the aliens, and then so they kind of work with the kids. And I thought that was weird because I thought, like, I guess in I guess I just had a feeling it was really strained from the comics. Because, like, I just thought they just straight up died.
Probably as far as I can remember. I do know that, of course, Alex being the traitor was something that really happened in the comic book, so they kind of built that up. So I wouldn't be surprised if the TV show to take swerves on that. But
yeah, and then it seemed like they were like it kind of ended with that kind of story arc, and then it ends the season, and then I think they just canceled it. So.
Yeah, well, all the Marvel Studios is gone once whoever at Disney gave it all to Kevin. So
right, so like they kind of had the hints of that. And I think they were hinting at Victor Mancha, I think.
Nice. Son of Ultron.
Yeah.
So, did Zavin do anything? I know she's supposed to be a Skrull or it or whatever. Did anything come of that in this season here?
No Skrulls.
Okay.
But I mean, it was again it was probably like what you said with Helstrom. You know, it's good background. It's good background, background noise type of show. It's very if you're a fan of Nico, then you'll like it, I guess.
She's a cutie.
Yeah. I think I mentioned this before when we did talk about the Runaways, but like I'm kind of disappointed that Molly, they played Molly older. And I was just like, because like Molly in the comics is Bubbles from Powerpuff Girls, right? To me, and I
yes.
wish and she's always been a favorite character of mine, and they didn't play her that way in the show, and that's always been a gripe of mine.
I don't know. I think maybe it's something with her being a minor than taking her, possibly. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, like, yeah, her being cute and destructive would probably just be, like, kind of take away from the tone. And I can see why they didn't do that, but it's a shame that you have any version of Molly and it's not like that.
Yeah, agreed. Did they kill anybody at the end?
Yeah, well, they Gert did die.
Okay.
Trying to fight Morgan Le Fay, or beating Morgan Le Fay.
I forgot they brought her in. That's
yeah, Elizabeth Hurley.
Yes,
she still got it.
Question is, did they put her in the proper costumes for Morgan Le Fay?
Yeah. I showed you pictures. I think I showed you screenshots.
Okay.
But yeah, so that was the whole thing, and so I'm guessing they strayed like far away from the comics. Yeah, because she became the main villain after they got the aliens away, and then so Gert died while they were fighting that. And then, like, the last episode or two was Chase trying to go back in time and rescue Gert.
No, on the most recent series written by Rainbow Rowell, Rainbow.
Right, right. Yeah, that's what he does.
Yeah, they did take that from there. Chris Arnko was on that series for a long time too.
Yeah, I never finished reading that.
I don't think I got past like the third. I still have all the issues.
Exactly.
But I haven't read like issue 3. Again, that's at 38 hours that we need in a day.
Right, right.
Playing with TV shows still. Walking Dead World Beyond. I do believe it's just a mini series.
Okay.
The third live action. And what they sold it as is this generation of kids who just grown up during this zombie apocalypse, so they never quite remember what life was like before the zombie outbreak.
Okay.
So it focuses on this group of 4 kids who are trying to make their way from like California to New York because their dad is some scientist that's working with this new I don't know, their military group, settlement group, who seem to have, power, electricity, and helicopters and stuff. So, like a new world order is starting to build, but they suddenly get a message from their dad that it's not safe, and then, there's about his 2 daughters. His 2 adopted daughters are the ones that are kind of the leads of the show, and they're making their way cross country to get to their dad. So they're kind of tying it all together. I don't know if you watched how far you gotten with The Walking Dead, but they kind of took Rick out of the show.
Yeah, I stopped way before that.
Yeah, so
I don't know. Like, I hated Negan. Like, so much. And it's almost like that was when, like, everybody was cosplaying as him around that time, too. So it just made me hate him even more.
Well, they're late to the party, but
but yeah, like, I mean, like, I just didn't understand why people liked him as a villain or just in general. And then, like, I think I got to the point where he was trapped in the trailer with the preacher.
Mm-hmm.
And I think I stopped after that.
Oh, you would like what happens to him. I mean, he literally got put in jail for like 7 years.
Yeah, but yeah, I was just like, I'm done with this.
But World Beyond it's interesting. It's a little too simple at times, which isn't a bad thing. But I'm enjoying it. It's loosely. They haven't really touched on too many of the other shows yet. You're just kind of getting to know this little crew that's traveling cross country, and they ended up linking up with, I guess you can call him, he's kind of like their older brother, somebody else that their father kind of took in and left him over them, and he's like a security dude with the complex they live in, so of course he's trying to talk them out of this trip that they're going on, but ends up deciding he has to tag along to protect them. So they got a nice little crew here going cross country. It's been pretty interesting seeing this next generation and how they deal with things.
Yeah, and then I kind of got fed up with Fear the Walking Dead.
You know what? I will say these last 2 seasons have been really good, especially this season that just started now. The end of season 5, they split up everybody. It's kind of like the X-Men and the Siege of Perilous. It's just like everybody's been spread out and separated. So now, so far this season, we're getting individual episodes based on specific characters. So they're starting to show you where they've been, and they're starting to pull them all together. Actually, it's been really good. I was surprised. I was really surprised.
Yeah. I don't know why. I got to a point where I just was fed up with Walking Dead, and I just completely gave it all up.
I'm not mad at you with 2 shows, and Fair was just kind of struggling to find his legs, and then they killed off Madison, which was, they started killing off some of the main characters. Like, oh, okay, they're changing it to something else,
right?
But no, it's been solid. These last 2 seasons have been pretty solid.
Yeah, and especially in the beginning, right, where it was more about like them being on a boat.
Zero. Oh,
like when they were just on a boat for a while, right? Like this is like not really scared of zombies when you're out in the ocean, you know. So I'm just like kind of. I mean, like, I know that's the whole thing about Walking Dead, right? Like, it's not about the zombies; it's about survival in a zombie apocalypse. But like, they went way too long on that boat.
It's like what, the second or third season of the main show, and they're looking for the damn girl.
Yeah, exactly. So it's just like, ugh. Again, just got fed up.
Yeah, understandable. So many other things to keep your attention.
Exactly.
All right, whose turn? I started The Walking Dead talk, and you kind of jumped into Fear, but you can go with your next.
Yes. I'm trying to think what else
Any movies? I'm actually done with TV shows. If you got any movies you want to start on?
Movies? No. I don't think I've watched anything besides what we've already talked about, like, lately. Right. I guess the only other show I was watching was Warrior.
I actually had that on my notes too, but I wasn't going to touch on it since it just started the new season. But
yes, but it's just as good. If you like the past seasons, it's just as good.
Hell yeah. And this last, are you caught up?
Yeah.
Dude, this last episode, when they're talking in the bar with him and his sister, it's just like, whoa. When you find out, like, what his real motivations are and stuff like that, he's starting to tread into the dark side there.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, it's very... It's like Gangs of New York, but with...
Meets Kung Fu, the journey continues, or whatever it was called.
Yeah. Like, it's... I mean, like, have we talked about Warrior before on the previous?
Pretty certain we have. I don't think we let that first season go by without us. Was that even this year, though?
Yeah, like, so... Yeah, so Warrior is actually what Bruce Lee intended to pitch to Hollywood. Like, this is the show that he wanted to do, but they just took the idea and made Kung Fu. The legend continues with David Carradine. And so,
very different beast.
Yeah, it's inspired by that, and I'm pretty sure the Bruce Lee Foundation is involved in some way.
Oh yeah, Shannon is the executive producer.
Okay, yeah.
His daughter.
But yeah, it's like Gangs of New York, but like it's Chinese people versus Irish people, taking place in San Francisco.
It is very, very entertaining. And this last episode, man, with that girl's sister, when she finds out what her sister did, whew,
yeah,
and her blaming Assam for it,
and
the stuff he was hiding there. But when she really gets wind of that, it had nothing to do with him. It's gonna hit the fan.
Yep, she's got some explaining to do.
Nobody can screw you over like family.
Yeah, definitely.
All right, so
this is kind of a tangent, but so I was on my live stream, and there was a photographer in the chat while I was live streaming, and I had this issue with like, for some reason on my camera the reds don't look right.
Mm-hmm.
Like, all the reds looked orange, and it got on my nerves, and I figured out that I just needed, like, a filter with the program to get the things right, and I was just talking about it, and the first thing he said was, you should check the white balance. And I was like, it's always the white balance, isn't it? And I was like, oh, wait, we're talking about photography still? And so yeah, and then I was going to say, like, leave it to the white girl to mess things up. Leave it to the Karen. I was like, see, when in doubt, check the white balance.
Okay. So, movies wise, I did check out two new movies. First one you probably heard of. It's called Love and Monsters,
Love and Monsters.
starring Dylan. Is it Dylan? Yeah, Dylan O'Brien. He was in Teen Wolf.
Okay.
And Maze Runner. So basically, see if I can explain this. So basically, there was some asteroid heading towards Earth, and we decided to blow the damn asteroid up. And in doing so, something from the asteroid falls into the atmosphere of Earth, and it causes all insects and other animals to basically become kaijus.
Okay. Go on.
It's this one nerd dude. It's been like 7 years, so people living underground trying to stay alive. And it's been like all this time he's been separated from his girlfriend, so eventually he gets tired of being the weakest link in his community, and he realizes that something's going on at his girlfriend's camp, so he's going to travel 80 miles cross country to go see the girl he was with 7 years ago. So it's literally him traveling cross country in his adventures. Of course, he's always been like the weakest, sorriest person. Like when things go down, he just literally freezes and can't do anything. But along the way, he meets Michael Rooker and I forgot some other little girl, and they kind of teach him a little bit how to survive until he gets to the West Coast to see his girl. I watched it with my boys, and they loved it too. It's just a great, fun movie. And just little breadcrumbs that drop along the way, little things that they hint at. It all really comes together at the end. It was really fun. I definitely highly recommend that, and they definitely left it open for a sequel as well. So hopefully that'll happen, because I would definitely be in for it as well.
Is it on a streaming service, or do you have to rent it or buy it? Looks like you have to buy it on Amazon.
Yeah, let's just say that.
Okay. Yeah.
We'll watch the stream.
Gotcha. Alright.
Oh, actually, it's in movie theaters.
Well, you can rent it on Amazon. Or however you get your movies.
Yeah, let's just say wherever you get your movies.
Yeah, it's got a 90% on Rotten Tomatoes, so.
Yeah, dude, it is good. I was surprised. I didn't expect it to be as fun and as good as it was, so.
Okay.
They definitely nailed it. And it's got, Jessica Henwick.
I was about to say, it's like, ooh, Jessica Henwick.
Yeah. Yo, girl. Besides that, the only other movie I watched, it's called The Wolf of Snow Hollow.
Does this have wolves in it?
I'm going to say technically it has wolves in it.
Okay.
This is
Wolf of Snow Hollow?
Wolf of Snow Hollow.
Okay.
You have to be a fan of weird characters like Fargo and just weird things to enjoy this. This is a comedy. At heart, this is really a comedy wrapped in a murder mystery being sold as a horror.
Okay.
The characters in this thing will just have you laughing with just their idiosyncrasies and the things that are they're just odd. Especially the main character, it's just odd and just can't seem to get his shit together. I can't even put it any more than that. Supposedly, there's these murders going on. Everybody thinks it's a werewolf. But the whole town just literally kind of just falls apart with everything going on because everybody's blaming the sheriff for not solving it. He's trying to put it together, but then he has some of his staff that just aren't very bright, and it's all just hilarious. So
Right.
I would definitely watch it. It is totally worth it. The Wolf of Snow Hollow.
Because Corwin is, if you listen to the, it might have been the last episode, which hasn't been released out to the public yet, at least as of this recording. It might be going out on November 6th, actually. Yeah, Corwin's notorious for liking shows with wolves in the title that don't have wolves in it, apparently. He's very anti-wolf, and I don't appreciate it.
I love wolves. I'm a dog person too, but I love wolves. They're beautiful.
Like you probably like Wolf of Wall Street.
Oh, that is a hilarious movie.
See,
Can never let the kids watch it, but yo, if you haven't seen that, you do need to watch that. The movie is ridiculous.
Dances with Wolves. No, just kidding. There's wolves
Actually,
in that.
that's you might be onto something there.
I just found a new trend, or that's like a new genre for like a new, like very specific Corwin genre
Maybe
of shows and movies with the wolf in the title, but no actual wolves in it.
But now that you finished freaking Lovecraft Country, you need to go ahead and watch that Raised by Wolves. Anyway, so the two good movies worth checking out.
Okay. Yeah, I've been following political stuff. That's all I've been doing.
No anime?
No. There were some that I was probably looking into watching, but I just haven't gotten around to it. I do want to watch, there's like a Greek show, like cartoon animated show on Netflix that's, yeah. I've heard rumblings of good things.
Yeah, I've heard good things too. I haven't watched it either, but
yeah, I do want to watch that.
I mean, it's basically, I think the main character is a dude, so it's like a male version of Wonder Woman, I guess.
Okay.
But so anime wise, what am I watching? God of High School.
God of High School.
God of High School. It's it's kind of ironic that we're going to talk about this, but it's basically a tournament.
Okay.
Another tournament show.
Uh-huh.
But they waste no time getting to the action. I think it's like 13 episodes, and I'm like halfway through, and the fighting is the major part of it, and then there's little character beats around it. Usually it's a whole bunch of characters fighting, talking, characters fighting. Not this one. It is fighting, character, fighting, character. And
this is the one that I was showing that like had that crazy fight scene, right, with the dude with one arm or something.
Yes, which I don't think I've gotten to that fight scene, but yes, it is that show, and it is awesome. It is very awesome. Oh shoot, what service is it on? It is being dubbed, so you can watch it in English.
It's definitely on Crunchyroll.
Yeah, it's a Crunchyroll. I think it is Crunchyroll, but yes,
I can
you
see
will
it.
like
It's on
it.
Hulu.
I haven't finished it yet, but so far I don't think they can go wrong with it. I don't think it's going to flop because it's just been fun. And then the main character is, of course, he's one of those Goku people. He's just very kind-hearted and very want to make friends with everybody and just loves to fight. I can't even remember their names right now either. But it's three main characters, and as soon as you start it, you kind of get right into them, meeting them, and the fighting's just going from there. You will see a lot of inspiration from other shows. Like I'm getting to the point now where people start doing like otherworldly magical things. It's almost like they have, if you know your JoJo, because my oldest loves the hell out of some JoJo. Like they've got these weird spirits that help them, like stands, I guess, like JoJo's Bizarre Adventures, where they're learning to tap into these other supernatural powers. So it's starting to get nuts, but it's been fun. I really like it.
On Halloween, I watched a bunch of the Treehouse of Horror episodes of The Simpsons. Yeah, I kind of did a marathon. I think I got to season 8, season 9, something like that, starting from the beginning. And they still hold up. They're still pretty funny. Like what is your favorite Treehouse of Horrors episodes?
I don't remember. I stopped watching The Simpsons maybe 10 or plus years ago.
I think my favorite one was the evil Krusty doll. Do you remember that one?
Mm-mm.
Like there was a point, like, and it was very like opening of Gremlins, where he goes into like a Chinese shop.
Homer goes into the shop.
Yeah, he goes into a Chinese shop and then gets a Krusty doll.
I kind of remember that.
Yeah, and then there's like one of my, like, this used to be a thing that we would reference all the time. You know, where he's just like, I was like, yeah, you can get this doll, but it's cursed. And he's like, that's bad. He's like, but it comes with a free Frogurt. And he's like, that's good. The Frogurt is also cursed. That's bad. But it comes with your choice of topping. That's good. It's like the topping has sodium benzoate or something like that. And then he's just like staring. And then he's like, that's bad. He's like, can I go now?
That definitely sounds.
Yeah, and then there was a one where Kodos and the other, like, where the aliens took the bodies of Bill Clinton and Bob Dole, which is very appropriate for this for this election. Where it's just like Homer reveals that they're aliens, and they're just like, you have no choice. You have to choose between us two. And then at the end, when they're all like slaves, like mining things, and then Homer just says, "Don't look at me. I voted for Kodos."
What about I noticed the episode Bart Sold His Soul. Was that one of the Treehouse Horrors? I think he's.
I don't think that was the Treehouse of Horror.
Okay.
Episodes. But I think so. Disney Plus is good, like, made a collections of just those episodes, so it's pretty easy to
watch them. That's smart.
Yeah, like they Disney Plus is on point with the. And yeah, like I pretty much just watched them till I fell asleep pretty much on Halloween. Like, that's how I spent my Halloween.
We watched a bad movie. What did we watch? It wasn't even Halloween though. It's called Relic, and it's about. So basically, it's about this. There's a woman, and her elderly mother, kind of disappears from their home. So then she goes up to the house trying to look for her mother. And she has her daughter with her, and it's kind of like a generational thing where it gets very. Let me find the right wording for it. it gets very metaphorical with what happens to the grandmother in the house compared to how the daughter treated her elderly mother. And it gets really weird near the end where some of it just kind of doesn't make sense. I get what they're trying to say, but I think the execution doesn't really pull it off well.
Did you watch it? I'm pretty sure you talked about this before.
No, not The Relic, which is a great 90s horror movie.
Okay.
This
is
just called...
like, didn't you talk about a movie with the word relic in it?
Yes, this is just plain 2020 Relic.
Okay.
Which even the name doesn't really... Maybe I need to watch it again to really get some of the deeper meaning of it, but it doesn't hold... It's not really a horror movie. They do a little bit of scary elements in there to make you jump once or twice, but when you really get to the heart of the story, it's nothing like that, and it's kind of disappointing because you kind of go in expecting one thing, and they give you some, I wouldn't call it artsy, but this metaphor of life kind of thing by the end of it, where it's just like, what did I just watch?
Is that on a streaming service? I don't think it is. Nope. Yeah, I think. Yeah, it's like I'm trying to think if there's anything else that I watched that wasn't like political YouTube or K-pop.
Well, what's going on in K-pop right now? Who are you listening to?
Who am I listening to? Well, the big names are Blackpink. They're the one of the biggest names now.
Right, that hasn't changed since.
Yeah, that hasn't changed. There's a group called, like, it's spelled like GI dash like DLE, like, so it's like G Idol, but I think they just call it Idol. Something with the Korean pronunciation, yeah. Like those are one of my favorite groups, and there's another one called Red Velvet.
Yeah, you sent me a couple of their videos.
Yeah, they're very pretty. But yeah, and this is something, I guess, which is kind of funny. Is like one of the like the prettiest ones on Red Velvet. There was a quote unquote scandal recently. And yeah, see, you're just thinking like sex tape or something, right? But the scandal was like her just being like a total bitch to one of her stylists, like editors. Like, I think it's like it was like to a point where like something like she was like yelling at her nonstop for like 20 minutes or something like that, and like the stylist like went public with it. And for some reason, like that, it just like I just was very surprised at how big of a deal that was in Korea. And I was like, man, imagine living in a country where like that's a huge fucking deal. You know, like it's like, wow, that sounds so nice. You know, like if that's a scandal. You know, like Mariah Carey would be sent to Gitmo, right? Like, you know what I mean? Like,
yes,
yeah. And I went on this deep YouTube dive, like just from different perspectives, and trying to figure out like why is this such a big deal? And from what I gather, there's this thing. With like there's sort of something with, and I could be completely wrong on this if any of our listeners that are K-pop experts like, or you know, Korean culture experts, like there's this big thing, like it's a big deal when people like abuse authority, right? And like there was sort of like the story about like the daughter of this big airline CEO, and she basically belittled like she was on a flight, and she she abused the flight attendants there, like made them bow, like get on their knees and beg for forgiveness type of ordeal, and she like went to jail or something for doing it, right?
Good.
Or something like that. Yeah, like just like and I guess they were kind of tying this situation, like making it like it's like that kind of situation with this. And then, like, it was to a point where it's just like, is Red Velvet done? Is she gonna be, is she gonna be? It's like, are they gonna disband? Like, they're gonna make her leave? I'm just like, what? And I mean, like, and and it's one of those things where, like, if they're a bitch, they're a bitch. It's nothing real. But at the same time, like, and then so on one side there's that, and then the scandal just came from other stylists and other people in the industry liking that stylist post or something like that. So like maybe insinuating that she's kind of known for being a bitch. And then, but then on the flip side, other people that have worked with her started vouching for her, saying that she's great, she's nice, blah blah blah. And in the end, I think they all met and. She got it. She was just trying to ask for an apology, and she got it. And I think that's it. And I think it's fine. But I think like they're kind of laying low for a while.
You're the one who told me how much they're in the public eye and how they have to be all, goody and
yeah. I guess I like so. Blackpink has a documentary on Netflix.
Okay.
And that's one thing I also watched.
Okay.
And but then you get to they talk about like their trainee days and things like that, and that's really the music really isn't that different from regular pop and hip hop, like R&B type stuff. But like I guess the only difference, that what really distinguishes K-pop is that people just go. Like they start training as like 15-year-olds, like learning dancing and singing and choreography, and like they just start as trainees, and eventually if they're good enough, they get put into a group kind of thing.
I mean, what happened if they want to run it solo? What happens if they ever,
they can try to, which is a thing, but most of them, I think they usually start in a group, and then they kind of branch out afterwards, or and they sometimes do solo stuff while they're still in a group too.
Right.
But yeah, they were just talking about their training and like how strict it is. Like you have to you have to watch they watch what you eat. They watch what like. You're not allowed to date, and like all kinds of like strict stuff. Like it is kind of crazy, like how hard they work.
Not allowed to date. Can you imagine how crazy shit is then behind the scenes?
Right?
They're not allowed to date.
Yeah, and and then like that again, and that's other like quote unquote scandals, right? Like, like this guy. Like this guy was like seen with this girl. Again, just like God, like as fucked up as our country is, right? Like this is like a big deal. Like imagine that world, right? Where like this is like, oh my God, can you believe this happened? And like I'm again. I don't know anything about like Korean government type stuff, because I don't live there. But like that's the only thing I'm hearing, and I'm sure they have their issues, But when like that's all I'm hearing, like, and that's and it could just be like pop culture gossip, kind of like it may be equivalent to our like TMZ or something like that, right? But yeah, it's just like I was just like, man, that just sounds nice. Like when we move into Korea.
As soon as I learn the language.
Right.
Yeah, I am terrible with languages, by the way. FYI, so that's yeah. That's not going to happen, in other words.
Yeah, I'm gonna put it in the show notes. It's called Blackpink, Light Up the Sky.
All right, I think that should do it for us. I mean, it's only two of us compared to the usual three that we have. So,
yeah, and in my defense, and I realize that I'm a 38-year-old guy, and I'm listening to like teen bopper type shit. In my defense, or at least my reasoning for getting heavy into K-pop, was that I will never claim that I am a music connoisseur. I acknowledge that my taste in music is shit, but I was like, I am a sucker for a catchy hook, a good melody, and I am a big fan of dance, and I'm a fan of choreography. But like with American like pop music that I listen to on the radio, like the lyrics are garbage. And it gets on my damn nerves. And then so K-pop is perfect because I don't know Korean.
Hell insane.
Right? So I'm pretty sure the lyrics are probably garbage also. But I don't know it, so I can't hear it.
Okay.
So all I hear is the catchy hooks and the cool choreography.
I ain't mad at you.
It doesn't hurt that they're also attractive, but
no, not even a little.
Yeah,
but
I kind of have a cutoff. I'm like, if they're a little too young, I'm like, all right, this is gross. Like, I can't. I need to stick with the older ones.
Well, I mean, I'm a little bit into some J-pop because just the anime that I watch and the video games that I play. So some of those songs really find their way into my playlist and stuff. So I feel you.
Yeah, but it's always like I feel like I need to throw out that disclaimer, like especially when I talk to women about it. We're just like, okay, I'm not one of those guys. like I'm not trying to be a creeper here. I just happen to act like I legit like the music and the choreography.
Sure you do, VH.
Exactly.
Sure
See? Oh, that's exactly what a creeper would say. Anyways, I probably talked about K-pop way too much, but you asked about it.
Oh, it's all good. So, that's what we're here to do. What we've been listening to, playing, and even video games I haven't played.
And it's to a point. I jokingly talk with our friend Richard about K-pop all the time, and whenever he brings up just an American song, I call it A-pop instead. I was like, oh, this is some pretty good A-pop here. All right.
Let's wrap it up.
Yes. So, thank you to our Patreon patrons for supporting us, and if you want to get these as they the week of when they come out, go to our Patreon page, patreon.com/EMPcast.
Yes, indeed, and they can find me on Twitter at EMPcast. Where can they find you?
At Comedian Viet on the social medias, and come hang out on my Twitch live streams every Sunday and Tuesdays, twitch.tv/comedianviet, where I pretty much make toys and I talk to people in my chat. If that's the
cool
thing
like
that you
that.
want to do. And I guess it's probably too. Well, yeah. If you're a patron, you'll know that like I'm gonna set up. I'm gonna try to set up like a 12-hour live stream where I'm gonna do it for charity. That it's in the works.
12-hour
Yes.
live stream.
Yes. I'm gonna do like a charity drive.
So
Basically, I have a lot to do. I have a ton of commissions. And so I'm just going to spend like that day and just work on all of them.
12 hours.
Yes.
Have you done that before?
I have not, but I'm going to give it a try. Let's see if we can do it.
What kind of training are you going to be doing for this? You going to start doing some push-ups and sit-ups to get ready for this? Or,
Nope. I'm going to drink a lot of caffeine. And that's about it.
Okay. Well, I'll be tuning in from time to time, checking in on you.
Yeah.
And,
and if I can pull it off in November, I'll probably do it again in December.
You're going to have Lisa bringing you Mountain Dews and you're just going to splash it in your face.
Yeah, something like that. Hooking up an IV to me. But yeah, 12 hours is nothing compared to like some of these streamers on Twitch. Like some of these gamers will play for that long.
Well, that's easy to do. Like 8 hours is easy to do in a video game, but to be sitting there making something.
Yeah, we'll see how it goes. But it's in the works. I'm gonna give it a try, and by the time you hear this, hopefully I did okay in the November one. That I'm gonna do it again in December. I'm thinking about doing feedingamerica.org. I think, which they fund like food banks and food pantries throughout the U.S. So, yeah. Anyways, I need to shut up. So we can get out of here.
We just about hit our hour mark anyway, so
exactly.
Thank you for tuning in. Definitely, if you can, subscribe on Patreon, help us out. Just a few shillings to keep the show going, pay your server costs, and things like that.
Mm-hmm.
And with that,
They probably ought to have laws passed, but it's too late to stop the onslaught. Raw blast of compacted, bombastic, five-alarm sass. They're talking AVX, way back to Secret Invasion. They're talking flying up high in the sky, down to the feet on the pavement. They're reading the pages of every single one of the summer events. So other than Venice, you want to be coming to them when you want the Avengers. They're up inside of your environment with flying iron fists, giant-sized Goliaths, and the tiniest super scientists. Try denying it, but I insist. There's other podcasts, but this is Earth's mightiest. EMP, literally MP3 TNT. Young, new, mighty, and secretly. Try denying it, but I insist. There's other podcasts, but this is Earth's mightiest. EMP, literally MP3 TNT. Young, new, mighty, and secretly. Try denying it, but I insist. There's other podcasts, but this is Earth's mightiest.